Internet, hello you absolute lovelies. Let's talk all about Alien Earth episode 3 with full spoilers for that episode. This show is so smart and it is playing with so many big, broad sci-fi concepts in really interesting ways. I think Dune definitely brought us a fascinating new world of adult sci-fi, and this is bringing us so many heady concepts like creativity and intelligence and the difference in minds, and it's bringing us the difference between hybrids and cyborgs and so many things all wrapped up in the world of Alien, while giving us some of the best practical effects I've seen in a long time, while giving us lots and lots of new xenomorph lore. Going to be diving all into this episode, but before I do, please hit that subscription bell. We passed 50K, on the road to 100,000 subscribers. I'm so excited you guys are here with me. Going to be covering every single week of Alien Earth week to week as it rolls out, as well as Peacemaker this month. Lots of good stuff in the world of fantasy and sci-fi. Also, please hit that like, it helps the algorithm, and most of all, leave a comment below. I want to know what you think of Alien Earth. This is one of those shows that if I was in high school, I would have loved geeking out about at like a lunchroom table, and I want this lunchroom table to be you, other nerd. Let's talk Alien Earth. All right, so show opens up really boldly with an incredible action set piece where we see a xenomorph get like handled for the first time I can think of in a real way, and I think that shows the strength of the hybrid and also shows the uniqueness of Wendy in that moment. But also it's really interesting to see how a xenomorph reacts to a hybrid versus an organic. Like, we've got her brother, you know, in a state of fear because it's just peeking in, but it doesn't seem to react to her in a normal way, and her reaction of just, you know, navigating it with less fear and actually going into assault, and the actual fight, absolutely incredible. The door moment was like, of course that's going to happen, but the way it plays out is so wonderful. And then I thought, hey, these two leads just got taken out. Is this going to be a show where we pivot leads? Like, for a minute I thought they might both actually be dead and we'd change leads because we have so many Lost Boys, and that might be the dynamic of the show. I'm glad it wasn't the case, but I love that they got taken out for an episode, so, or maybe more, but they got taken out for an episode so we could recontextualize who the rest of the cast is. I think it's really smart to focus on a few leads in the first 2 episodes, but the beauty of an ensemble is now with this 3rd episode, we're discovering more and more. We're discovering more about what the Cavalier character wants from these Lost Boys. I think we're going to get a conversation about creativity fading as an element of them being able to be turned into hybrids, much like the Matrix. Like, you can't take someone out of the Matrix too old because their brains have accepted this reality too much. It'll break their reality. I think there's a similar concept here with the creativity of someone young enough to adapt to this body, but we're starting to see different characters like not adapting to this reality nearly as well. And I think there's going to be another element of Cavalier wanting that creativity to kind of compound his intelligence. There are elements of intelligence tied to creativity that you lose as you get older. Our brain doesn't perceive things the same. It doesn't have expanses of time the same. It doesn't dream in the same way. It doesn't connect to dreams in the same way. It doesn't actually process data the same. How do you get smarter than smart? And I love the idea of, for a hybrid, their memories get stored permanently. You get a physical hard drive version of your memory, so it locks something in, but you also have that young creativity, and I think Cavalier sees that as an opportunity to grow his intelligence. His main goal is to meet someone smarter than him and level himself up. Love seeing that come into play with this concept, and I've often thought about what I would do with my intelligence today in a mind that was more malleable, that had more elasticity, that was more able to broaden its scope of concepts. Like remembering languages. You learn a language young, it adapts differently. Like, it's harder and harder to learn things as you get older, especially if you're a genius. I imagine it'd be really frustrating to, one, not have an equal to talk to, but on top of that, your brain not functioning in quite the same way as someone else. And really love that dynamic. And all of that wrapped in a xenomorph world is delightful. We've also got a lot more Oliphant here taking a leadership role. Really enjoyed seeing those other 2 Lost Boys play up the youth, play up the exuberance. They did feel like children in adult bodies getting, you know, manipulated and playing with the eggs and all these, like, you know, flipping things, and then Oliphant being a protective father figure, but still programmed, still following orders, still a synthetic. And I really am fascinated by the dynamic of this cyborg character, because I thought he was a synthetic for the first 2 episodes, but it seems that hand is attached to a human, and he is more or less a cyborg, a human with robot elements versus a human mind in a robot body, adding even more of the sci-fi conversation of what it is to be human. And I feel like the first two episodes asked a lot of what it is to be human. And there's the ship of Theseus concept of how much do you change of the original to keep it being what it ever was. If you change every part of something one piece at a time, is it still that thing? What's that line where it is something brand new? So we've got something, with new pieces that aren't human, but he's still human, or is he? And then we've got things that are purely human, but in a pure synthetic body, and are they more or less human? And we've got that with xenomorphs reacting differently. We've got that with these two different types of sci-fi characters interacting. We've got that with, I imagine, what we're going to get with her brother and what he's going to evolve into. They took out his lung, seemingly to have it interact with what looks to be like a xenomorph sperm, something that's implanting itself. But are we going to get his character brought back as something more human than human? White zombie. But is that something that is going to lead to the overall arc of greed and ambition and all of that being something that can't be satiated? You can't really be sated when you have ambition. You always move the finish line. And I like the idea of this billionaire genius who wants more knowledge and is so proud of this new frontier that he thinks these lost boys want this exploration. But also, he's a billionaire that just was about to launch his 10-year accomplishment. But what's that old thing that he's already done? Like, no, new shiny thing, these bioweapons. And that's real. Like, I know people that when they get in a rhythm, like, you always want the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So I really enjoy that being utilized, using Weyland Yutani as like another billionaire competitor and this conflict between the two of them, and that way to keep it in universe and grow the universe. And also, just speaking of the universe itself, I really love that this show is able to use practical effects as much as it is. In one, because it makes it feel more lived in, it makes it feel like the original, it looks better, it feels like the actors are interacting. But two, you get practical effects so you can destroy a xenomorph and have a xenomorph corpse that's full of acid rotting away. You can have all of these vials and chemistry lab and use these props in a new and more exciting way. I think this show has some of the best production design I've seen. All of those planet moments, seeing the different towns and cities and all of that. I think we're going to get to the point where, in a good way, this will be what I wanted out of Jurassic World. Like, the show's called Alien Earth, and we aren't even needing to acknowledge yet that we have xenomorphs on the planet Earth. That's going to get crazy with these planets. And this show, I hope, runs seasons and seasons and gets to that point. But for now, I love that it's isolated to this containment, this ship, and all these things. But at the end of the day, xenomorphs are on Earth. We're seeing new cities. We're seeing all this world building, this great production design. It all feels so real and lived in. And we've still got this commentary on what it is to have a soul, what it is to be human, what it is to change enough parts of yourself, what it is to have that creativity, all of these big questions, and so much good world building, lore, alien scares, horror, tension. It's just so freaking good. I'm really loving this show. Love to know what you guys think in the comments below. Please let me know what your Alien Earth experience has been so far through episode 3. Please subscribe to this page so I can keep growing it and growing it and growing it. I'm going to do a 50 comment giveaway for the 50K we just hit. I'm going to figure out how that's going to work with finding a randomized one of 50,000. But if you want comics, please do hit that subscription bell. It is up for grabs up until I send them out. So please join me on this journey. I cover comics, I cover movies, I cover TV, all in the sci-fi, fantasy genre speciality. So please join me, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I will see you for Alien Earth next week, and I will see you for Peacemaker even sooner, and I will see you for This Week in Comics very soon. Lots of stuff coming. Much love. Alien Earth is so good. Still, I think, my favorite show of 2025 so far. So far, killing it.